gentlemen, Mayor of Kingstown, episodes 5 and 6. 2 episodes. I'll be fully caught up. I know I'm a little early this week, so hopefully you'll be happy about that. Such a good show. I know people are talking about Last of Us, and I'm sure there's other shows. People are starting about Picard, and I don't care. This show, I can't wait for another episode to drop. That's how good this show is. This show, it ramps up the chaos. It just keeps building all of these different characters along. You have Bunny, who's this drug dealer, who's befriend Mike, who's, quote, the mayor, running all this nonsense, trying to keep peace. He's trying to find a way to make his scheme work where he put all of the generals behind the fence so that they could try to orchestrate leadership inside the prisons. Well, come to find out, the prison system's going to go private. The DA is going on like a big political thing. So everything went bad. All the generals ended up staying in-house. And by the time we ended the last episode, they were getting dispersed. And then this episode is about just absolute chaos, right? Bunny is just like, I don't know what to do. They've lost these bonds. So the Russian mafia guy, his name is Milo. He had escaped at the end of season 1. He's on the lam. We don't know where he is, right? I mean, we, the audience, kind of knows. Mike and them don't know. We in the audience know about the church and stuff where he's holed up. But there's like millions and millions of dollars in bonds that are moving around. So when you have these scenes played out in episode 5, and you sort of get like, you know, the dead person here, and you have all this stuff escalating, right? You start to understand that this chaos is not only quieting down, it's gradually like a boil on the oven. The water is just boiling, right? With Milo and Joseph looking for these bonds, going down the list of who could be where and who could have them, right? He ultimately meets, Joseph and Milo meet, and you can tell, I actually didn't know if he was going to get killed right there in the church. It was so good. It was so intense, right? Of course, the bonds get stolen from the police. You don't know who has them. So that was great setup for that. And then, of course, the guards, these white guards that are totally, they call it AB, Aryan Brotherhood. They're in line with them. So they attack Bunny. They put him in a kill box. And of course, at the same time, Bunny, which we don't know, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have spoiled that because that's the next episode, but there's an assassination of the Hispanic general in his cell where they burn him alive. It's freaking great. So you see the alarms go off, all that, and Mike doesn't know because he's just heard about Bunny, and it's just chaos. Episode 6, I thought, okay, well, this will be more like the reset episode, right? No, not at all. No. The AB guys let one white dude loose who attacks the black guys at a table. Now they're handcuffed, so they can't really defend themselves. We have one guy who dies. They kill the white guy. It's chaos is breaking out. So Mike knows he's got to get to this guard and figure that out. Guard's name is Davidson. And he's like trying to figure this out. This guy like pushes Mike. And I was like, oh my gosh, can you imagine pushing a mayor in this show? This is like, the mayor is more than the Don, because the mayor is more like the string puller of all of the criminal families, which think of the gangs as families, right? The AB, the whites, the 2 black groups, the Crips and the Bloods, and the Hispanics, who now are looking for a new leader on the inside and the outside. So you have so much uncertainty. And this stupid guard, anyway, Kyle is there because Kyle's the brother. He's still battling his PTSD. He's behaving very erratically. And he starts pistol whipping the guy and behaving wrong. And come to find out Kyle's the one that stole the bonds. Oh, my God. They figure out that it was Kyle. Then he'll have a hit on him. Who knows? Anyway, so Mike does finally meet with Bunny. Bunny's not having any of this, right? Bunny's like, dude, you had your chance. I got to do what I got to do, right? So Mike's going to go. Mike pulls, oh, man, talk about a swinging move. He shows up at one of these ritzy restaurants. The DA is meeting with his little girl friend with benefits, who's the assistant DA, Evelyn. And basically just sits there going, listen, you made a deal. I didn't make a deal. Deals are broken all the time anyway. Blah, blah, blah. This guy has such a chip on his shoulder. He is so full of himself. They played up the politician, the naivete of how things actually worked so well. And then Mike drops the Milo name. He says, listen, Mike's, your assistant DA knows that Milo's out there. What do you mean Milo's out there? I thought Milo's dead. It's like, all right, man. Well, Bunny and the boys, they're making moves. The white guy came forward and says, listen, that attack was not sanctioned by us, and we're going to take care of it. And they cut the guy's arm off in a machine. And they're like, what's going on with the white guy? It's like, well, anyway, Bunny makes his move and you see a drive-by. The DA has been gunned down. That's how this episode ends. So let's recap. We have chaos. The Hispanics don't have a leader, inside or out. Bunny just iced the DA who was pressured by Mike to let Bunny out. We don't know if that'll get traced back. So there's really no leadership inside or out. Bunny's probably back in isolation, I guess. I don't know what they're going to do with Bunny. These bonds are moving around. We got to deal with the bonds. We got to deal with Milo. We didn't see anything about Iris in this episode. The mom has a brief scene. Still can't figure out why we bother with the mom. She's supposed to kind of be the naive moral voice in the forest of like, give them a chance and let them loose and take your foot off the pressure and they'll just be good people thing. And this poor kid is like, listen, if you could just get me to talk to your son, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. It's just a very generic, because she's always like, what, you can take their handcuffs off and you don't have to be there. And the guards are always like, no, are you out of your mind? So she has a scene. It's just, I don't care scene. Like I was on board with the mom if she mattered, and I just don't feel like anything ever materialized with her. Like she just never ever become relevant. I really expected her to be a string puller and undermining Mike, and that just really never has happened or manifested. And that would have been at least some sort of, kind of like Tony's mom in Sopranos. Like she was always going behind his back, dealing with the uncle or something. There was little things like that would happen. This mom doesn't do anything. She's just complete bleeding heart, naive about how the world works. Mike is the real villain. She's dealing with her own issues and just never comes to pass. So anyway, there's a few other minor plot points and like that. I think this is still just a fantastic show with a lot to offer. If you haven't been watching Mayor of Kingstown, I think you should plug in. It's very graphic, especially season 1, man, loaded with nudity and violence in season 1. My gosh, I was hitting fast forward like all the time. Oh my gosh, it was awful. But the show itself and the drama, the intrigue, the realism, there's so many elements that were done right. I would be remiss if I didn't recommend the show. If you're watching it, I love your thoughts. I think it's a great show, but I'd love to hear back from you guys. Favorite moments, favorite elements, things like that. Can't wait to tell you guys more about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Pops.